morning to all of you. I am Suresh, as already mentioned. I am from Dairy Energy and Resource Institute. We are basically doing projects related to energy, environment and sustainable development. And our group, we are from a group Center for Environmental Studies, where we are basically looking into different aspects of environment related. So today I am going to give a little bit introduction about air pollution. So how many of you heard about air pollution? Any idea, any definition for air pollution? Yeah. What is air pollution? Simple. Anything that pollutes air is air pollution. Right? Okay. So, do you have any chapter on air pollution classes? No. Nothing.
What's the question? Have you studied
Have you studied anything on air pollution in your schools? No. So far, no. Okay, so we can start from the very basic of air pollution. So, air pollution. What is air pollution? So, any atmospheric condition which is in certain substances are present in such a condition that can produce undesirable effects on human and its environment, or simply transfer harmful or any natural or any synthetic material into the atmosphere as a consequence of direct or indirect of human activity is called, which can affect human beings, both living and non-living. Non-living means which can pollute both air, soil, etc. That is called air pollution. So what are the different types of air pollution? We have indoor air pollution and we have ambient air pollution. Ambient or outdoor air pollution. If you have any doubt in between, please, if you are not understanding what I am saying, please open to say that. Okay. So there are two types of air pollution, that is called indoor air pollution, which is basically in this environment what is the air pollution inside this, but that is called indoor air pollution. That can be an office or a home or anywhere. Say kitchen in your home, everything that is called indoor air pollution. And outdoor means the atmosphere that you are living, that is just outside a building, what is the pollution level in that area. That is called outdoor air pollution, which another term is called ambient air pollution. So what are air pollutants? Air pollutant is substance that is causing air pollution. That is called air pollutants. Okay. So air has so many pollutants. So that will be pollutants when only if it crosses some limit. The concentration or the levels exceed some limit, then only if you call it is a pollution. Otherwise, in normal situation, you need some substances which are need to human health. Okay, so that is all about air pollution. And what are the different types of air pollution? That is indoor air pollution and ambient air pollution. And coming to what are air pollutants? Anything that the substance that causing air pollution is called air pollutants. Okay. So this is a simple thing of air pollution in a simple way I have shown. So different sources, that is anything, different kinds of pollutants. That can be an industry, that can be a vehicle, any pollution, anything that produces pollution. That will be undergoing some chemistry, means some reaction takes place, or together with meteorology, that will go to distribute in various areas. Then that will affect air quality and also human health. So this is the simple diagram which is showing what actually the effects of air pollution. Next, what are the sources? You also know what are the main sources of air pollution. What could be the main sources? We have industries, a lot of industries are there that can produce air pollution, and we have power plants which comes under industries only, but that is a separate category because they are the major contributor of air pollution in Delhi. As far as Delhi is concerned, the major contributor of air pollution is power plants and the vehicular. So the industries is a major contributor, power plant, then domestic and commercial. Domestic means the things that is happening in your home. Yeah, commercial. Commercial means restaurants, anything that produces pollution. And in the rural setting, what will be the pollution? The indoor kitchen, because they are using what? Biofuels, fuels for their cooking purpose. They are not using LPG or they are not using any PNG for their cooking purpose. They are using biomass. Biomass means it can be wood, it can be cow dung cake, or it can be crop residue. So that is they are using for their cooking purpose. So that will liberate huge quantity of pollutants in the indoor environment. Okay, understand? You are getting what I am saying?
Yes.
Okay. And then we have vehicles. That is the main contributor of air pollution as far as Delhi is concerned. Vehicular pollution contributes 2/3 of the total air pollution in Delhi. So if you take the total pollution of Delhi, 2/3 of the pollution is all because of the vehicles. Because the vehicles are increasing day by day. Every year, 7% increase in vehicle number. Now we have more than 4 million vehicles in Delhi. Okay, so these are producing, but over the years, we have high pollution levels because of vehicles in the last 1995, but after that we have a lot of introduction norms that is appeared, so a little bit reduced the pollution concentration. So vehicle, and we have road dust. Road dust means it is called fugitive emission. When the vehicle is moving, a huge quantity of dust particles are emitted, so that's also another source of air pollution in your area. Okay, so these are the major pollutants. Then what are the type of pollutants? There are different types of pollutants in the air. How many pollutants do you know? Have you heard of any pollutants that is in the air? Any pollutant? Can you name any of the pollutants in the air?
Carbon monoxide.
Carbon monoxide, of course, or anything other than that?
Sulfur.
Okay, so we have two types of pollutants. Pollutants can be classified into two. One is called primary, the other is called secondary. What is called primary? Which is directly emitted from the source, because that is not going any chemical reaction. That is direct. For example, vehicles are emitting huge quantities of carbon monoxide. So that is the direct emission. Okay, so pollutants are different. It is called primary. Primary means which is directly emitted from the source. The examples of primary pollutants are carbon monoxide, as you said. Then we have oxides of nitrogen, and we have sulfur oxides. We have particulate matter. We will say detail about particulate matter later, because that is the parameter of concern. Okay. So we have volatile organic compounds. Have you heard of any of these parameters other than carbon monoxide? No. No. Lead you have. Okay. So then we have secondary pollutants. Secondary pollutants means which is formed from primary air pollutants, which is undergoing some chemical or photochemical reaction. Okay. So primary pollutants, how will secondary pollutants are formed? By the chemical or photochemical reactions of primary pollutants. So for example, ozone. Ozone is a secondary pollutant. How they are formed? They are formed by the reaction of oxides of nitrogen and phosphorus. They are formed by the reaction of oxides of nitrogen and volatile organic compounds in the presence of sunlight. Sunlight is needed for the reaction to take place. So oxides of nitrogen react with volatile organic compounds for ozone. So ozone is a secondary pollutant. Okay, so we have primary pollutants and we have secondary pollutants. Primary pollutants are the pollutants which is directly emitted from the source. Secondary pollutants are formed by either chemical or photochemical reaction between the primary pollutants. Okay. Next. Then what are the common air pollutants? How they are coming from? So we have sulfur dioxide. So sulfur dioxide, how from there where the major source of sulfur dioxide is the thermal power plant. Okay, because they are using coal. Coal contains sulfur. So sulfur, how sulfur is formed? Any substance that contains sulfur, when they burn, that produce sulfur dioxide. So sulfur dioxide is main contributor is thermal power plants, melting process, petroleum refining, sulfuric acid plants, that are the contributors of sulfur dioxide. Then coming to oxides of nitrogen. Oxides of nitrogen, they are formed when any fuel is burned at high temperature. Okay, suppose any fuel, because the main thing is vehicles. In vehicles, the compression or ignition takes place at high temperature, that produces enormous quantities of nitrous oxides. Okay, do you understand? Clear? Okay. Then particulate matter. Particulate matter means the dust particles that is present in the air. You can't even see, but the size will be very, very less. But that itself is a pollutant. Particulate matter is basically any activities can produce particulate matter. It can be vehicles, it can be industrial sources, it can be any construction activities, that it can be a playground, anything, any under the category can produce particulate matter concentration. Okay, next. Next is carbon monoxide, the main contributor, how carbon monoxide is formed? Carbon monoxide is formed by the incomplete combustion of any substance. Suppose wood, if it is not properly burned, it produces enormous quantity of carbon monoxide. So the major contributor of carbon monoxide is burning of any substance, that is incomplete combustion of any substance produces carbon monoxide. Then benzene. Benzene is basically formed from the exhaust of any vehicles, that is the major contributor of benzene. Then ammonia, that is another thing. So you don't want to go deep into that whole thing. Next. See, I already told you about respirable particulate matter. The particulate matter, what is the particulate matter? That is the particles that is present in air is called a particulate. It is a wide category that can be distributed to various steps. So, particulate matter as a whole is just a particle. Under the particulate matter category, we have different size. Depends on the size of the particles, we have different distribution. Our RPM means respirable particulate matter. What is the meaning of that? That is the portion that is going deep into the respiratory tract when you breathe. Okay? So even the respiratory tract also, so total particles, out of the total part, 55% of the total particles contribute particulate matter or PM10. PM, why it is called, why RPM is otherwise called PM10. Why? Because of the size. PM10 means the particles which size less than or equal to 10 micrometer. That is called the PM10. Okay? Is it difficult to understand? No.
It's fine.
Okay, it's okay with you?
Yeah.
I don't want to explain all those things. I don't know.
You guys understand particulate matter? So we're talking about our actual
If you have any
suspended.
doubt in between, if you are not able to understand anything that I am saying, please open to speak. Okay? So till now you understand what I have said. Okay? So now I am talking about particulate matter, that the dust particles present in air. They have different sizes according to the size that is going into your respiratory tract. Okay? The smaller the size, that will go deep into your respiratory tract. So what is air pollution and health effects? So higher concentration, if you are exposed to higher concentration of any pollutants, that can cause adverse health effects on human health. So just to take the case of particulate matter, I already told you particulate matter has different distribution. One is PM10, that means particle which is greater than 10. This is called PM greater than 10 micron, means particle with the size, aerodynamic diameter size, that is called 10. Okay, if it is greater than 10, that will be stuck up to this position, nasal. So it won't go beyond this particular point. So if the particle size is greater than 10 micrometer, then the particle will be stuck up in the nasal tract. Okay, it won't go deep into the respiratory tract. Then the second is PM10 and 2.5. That will go to the second level up to this. It will go up to trachea and all. Okay, so that will again go deep into the particle with higher particles will be stuck up in the nostril strip. Then the smaller particle, that is size between 10 and 2.5. 2.5 and 10, that will go up to trachea. Then the fine particle, which is called 1 and 2.5. 1 means particle with very minute particles. That will go up to lungs. Okay, so lungs is a sort of filter in your body. Okay, whatever the air that you are breathing, that will be filtered by the lungs. So think of the situation of your lung. If you are breathing for a long time in Delhi, like city. Okay, so as far as Delhi is concerned, this particular particulate matter is a concern. Okay, next. So what are the overall effect of air pollution on human health? We have different pollutants. How it affect the human health? Ozone. Ozone is a secondary pollutant that I already told you. What are the effects? It will act respiratory tract problem. You have eye irritation. You have nasal congestion. Reduced lung function. These are all the effects of high exposed to high concentration of ozone. Then we have particulate that I already told you. That will go eye and throat irritation. You must be having runny nose and all. That is because of the particulate matter that is stuck up in the nasal tract. Then bronchitis, lung damage and impaired visibility. When visibility also lost when you have exposed to high levels of particulate matter. Then we have carbon monoxide. You know the reaction between carbon monoxide and blood. When carbon monoxide is exposed, what happens? You have blood, you have hemoglobin. You know, have you heard about hemoglobin?
No.
No. So there is a thing called hemoglobin which normally carries oxygen to the various parts of your body. Okay. So what happens when carbon monoxide going to blood, that will react with hemoglobin. Okay, which is forming a poisonous thing called carboxyhemoglobin, which normally blocks the oxygen carrying capacity of your blood. Who is carrying oxygen to your blood? Oxygen. So if you are exposed to high levels of carbon monoxide, a chemical is formed which blocks the oxygen carrying capacity of your blood. Okay, so that is the main. Then sulfur dioxide, again, so when you take almost all the parameters, that will directly or indirectly affect your respiratory system, most of the cases. Okay, then NOx, that also respiratory illness. Lead is damage of brain in children. Even newborn baby, let us high impact on newborn baby. They will be reduced hair, weight, birth weight and more. Then we have mercury, again brain and kidney will be affected by mercury. Then benzene, leukemia or blood cancer. Okay. Then vinyl chloride, lung and liver cancer. So these are all the various impacts of pollutants on human health. Next. Then we have certain laws. I don't know whether you will be able to understand this thing. We have certain laws that are set up in our country. So that is the first act, that is called Air Prevention and Control of Pollution. So we have a lot of pollution in our city, so that has to be controlled. So the government of India has come up with the Air Prevention and Control Act in 1981 to solve the pollution of air. So under that act, they have various functions. They have we have central pollution control boards, we have state pollution control boards. They will be regularly monitoring air quality in various locations in India. Okay. So we have set forward a lot of standards for each and every parameter. Standards means we have pollutant. So how much the concentration can go up to certain limit. After that it will affect human health. So that is the standard. Okay. So above which level you have more impact on that particular pollutants. Accordingly we have set standard for each and every parameter. So these are the standards, that is NAAQS means National Ambient Air Quality Standards. Means for yes.
So, well, I track daily air pollution on one of the websites that's looking at the sites around Delhi. And
Yeah.
it says prescribed standard. Is that what it's talking about? Is the maximum?
They are the levels of various locations that they are monitoring.
Right, but next to that it says prescribed standard.
Yeah, prescribed standard.
Does that
That is
mean-
called National Ambient Air Quality Standard.
That's where it's
So
coming from.
prescribed standard means above which people are showing symptoms of
Correct.
health. Okay, so some
Okay.
bad symptoms. So that accordingly they will set some standard for each and every parameter.
Okay.
So National Ambient Air Quality have this much of standard. Sulfur dioxide, see, 24 hours it should not cross 80 microgram per cubic meters. Okay, so similarly for nitrogen dioxide also that is the standard for. And for each and every parameter they have set some standard. As far as Delhi is concerned, the third category, that is the third and fourth, they are almost above the standard. So that is the parameter of concern in Delhi. Okay, because why it is called a parameter of concern in Delhi, particular matter is called a parameter of concern in Delhi because it always has some question.
Do people also always follow these standards, or are these standards not followed?
And these standards are to say that this is anything above this, like if the
Yeah,
Okay.
particulate matter level is above this, then it's bad for your health.
see,
right?
these are
Okay.
the standards.
Okay.
Suppose we have measured
think it
air
was-
pollution level in your schools. Suppose your particular matter concentration crosses 100 microgram per cubic meters. So
Mhm.
that means your level crossed the limit.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
your
yeah.
level crossed the limit. Cross the limit means what can happen because of that?
Okay.
It can have adverse health effects.
Yes.
Okay, so accordingly that standard has set up.
Take care.
Okay, so we have standards, both annual average standard and we have 24-hour standard also. So each and every parameter have standard. Okay. Next. So how